Hello, everyone, and welcome into today's edition of the Arizona State Sun Devils Insider Podcast. My name is Kevin Hicks, and as every day, I am the beat writer for Arizona State Sun Devils on SI, and I am thrilled to join you today. Um, Busy time in Arizona State athletics. The baseball team is awaiting their fate on Monday as to whether they make the NCAA tournament or not for the first time in 4 years. They are still projected to make it despite finishing the season on a four-game losing streak. Arizona State women's basketball is looking to rebound from a rough 2 or 3 year stretch by hiring Molly Miller, and they are moving towards the season around 6 months away. The football season is only about 97 days away as of this recording, and a lot of fans are absolutely thrilled because this Sun Devils team could be the best one yet in the history of the program. And that's saying a lot because the Arizona State program is quite storied overall. They will likely enter the season as Big 12 favorites to repeat after winning the Big 12 title in their debut season, and they will likely be ranked around the top 10 of the AP preseason poll as well. So expectations are sky high. I wanted to take time during this episode to talk about my piece that I did that came out on Saturday morning. It is predicting the ASU schedule, and we all know that predictions can be very volatile. There can be a lot of nuance that go into them. There's a lot more factors that can come into play as the games approach, as they get closer. But as of right now, this is my prediction for the season. So let's get into it. So starting off the season August 30th against NAU, no disrespect to Northern Arizona University. They're a very, very quality FCS program. They just made the playoffs last year in the FCS, and they pushed the University of Arizona in their non-conference battle in Tucson last season. So they are a quality program, but the gap is just too much when it comes to talent, when it comes to speed, when it comes to overall coaching from top to bottom. Arizona State should roll in the season opener, should be a game where backups can get reps as well in the second half. And then you move on to the real challenge. You go to Starkville, Mississippi in week 2 for the second half of the home and home against the Mississippi State Bulldogs. The Bulldogs were outmatched by Arizona State for much of the game in Tempe last year, but a second half where the Sun Devils lulled resulted in the Bulldogs having a chance to come back and potentially tie the game. Actually, they never had a chance to tie the game. Arizona State did not give the ball up once the score went to 30-23. So the game really wasn't as close as it appeared to be, but but it will be tough. The Mississippi State fan base is absolutely rambunctious. It will be a loud environment. It will be a hot and humid environment. The Bulldogs will be hungry to get revenge and to prove themselves because they are considered the bottom feeders of the SEC at this moment. Blake Shapen will be back after suffering a season-ending injury after the game against Arizona State. So this could be considered a quote-unquote trap game. I personally don't believe it will be. I think the Sun Devils will probably win this game by a couple of scores, and they'll move on to the final game of the non-conference slate against Texas State. Texas State was another huge challenge last year. That was possibly the biggest game in the program's history, at least at the FBS level. They were considered a sleeper to make the college football playoff in 2024. They had an experienced quality starting quarterback in Jordan McLeod. They had GJ Kinney, or JG Kinney. Yeah, GJ Kinney, who was was a former NFL quarterback, and he has the program energized still, even after they disappointed a little bit last year. But the crowd was absolutely crazy in that game. The Sun Devils had to rally down twice during the duration of that game, and they ended up coming through. A lot of that had to do with Sam Levitt, and there's no reason to believe that it won't be different this time around. Expect Sam Levitt to have a massive, massive game. The Sun Devils should be able to win this one at home by about 3 scores. So we're moving on to Baylor next. This will be a massive test. Baylor could come into this game with 2 losses already, as they will be challenged by the reigning ACC champions SMU. as well as the Auburn Tigers, who will be ushering in Jackson Arnold, who's a former 5-star quarterback. So those are two very, very challenging non-conference games for the Bears. But they do bring Sawyer Robertson back, who is a sleeper Heisman candidate, along with Sam Leavitt out of the Big 12. The defense could be significantly improved under Dave Aranda, and this will be a tricky game, especially since it's in Waco. But I believe the Sun Devils will win this game by about a field goal. It'll be a high-scoring game, expect a 38-35 type of game. And yeah, start the conference play 1-0 this year compared to last year where they lost to Texas Tech in game 1. Next, we're going to TCU. TCU will be another huge challenge as they bring back another very, very talented quarterback in Josh Hoover. But the TCU defense does still have significant questions surrounding it. They haven't been back to the levels that they were in 2022 when they made the national title game. Expect the Sun Devils to win another hard-fought game, start 2-0 in the conference. And then we go to the first shocker of the season. They go to Utah. They go to play Kyle Whittingham and his absolutely bone-crushing culture. The defense and the elevation proved to be too much in this game. Utah squeaks out a physical, hard-fought battle, and that's the first blemish on Arizona State's season to this point. They go back and rebound against Texas Tech. Some people consider Texas Tech to have the best roster in the Big 12 after restocking it in the transfer portal over the offseason. Joey McGuire has done a very good job after several years of coaches that showed promise and flatlines, such as Cliff Kingsbury, such as Matt Wells. Now we're at Joey McGuire, and he's actually living up to the billing so far. But I believe the Sun Devils having the home field advantage and the fact that Sam Leavitt is just that much better than starting quarterback Baron Morton for Texas Tech. I believe that will be the difference in that game. The Sun Devils will win. So next, we go to Houston. Houston showed marked improvement throughout the first season of Willie Fritz's tenure. The former Tulane coach has been a phenomenal culture builder throughout his coaching career, and it's not different this time around at Houston. They brought in former 5-star quarterbacks, Connor Weigman, who struggled to stay on the field throughout his time at Texas A&M, but they could be a fascinating team in the Big 12. They really could be a team that is better than expected, but nonetheless, still believe the Sun Devils are just too talented, and the home field advantage will be too much for Willie Fritz's squad to overcome. Sun Devils win that game as well. So we go to Iowa State. That might be another shocking loss. It is a road game, so that has to come into account. But Iowa State will also likely be in the Big 12 title race that late in the season. They will be motivated. Matt Campbell is one of the best coaches at getting the most out of his team on any given year basis, and just have a bad feeling about that one personally. That could be the second loss on Arizona State's schedule. Now we close out with the final 3 games of the season. West Virginia, Rich Rodriguez, we know that he can build a roster that competes on a whim typically, but I believe that Arizona State being at home and the talent gap being what it is still a significant consideration. I believe that Sam Leavitt and Jordan Tyson will absolutely have a field day on that defense that is looking to rebuild. Sun Devils win that game, move to 8-2 on the season, and then Colorado. That will be another challenging game. It could be a cold weather game, potentially snow. But it's hard to say what the Deion Sanders era will look like this year. The Buffaloes could either be in contention for the Big 12 title at this point, and it could be a win-and-in scenario, or it could be a trap game of all trap games with the Buffaloes team that's looking just to scrape by and gain bowl eligibility. We'll see. Nonetheless, I believe that the Sun Devils will win this game. I believe they go to 9-2 and they defeat Arizona in the rivalry game, the Territorial Cup, the final game of the season. Arizona could put up a better fight than last season, but I still believe the Sun Devils will have the Territorial Cup in Tempe for another year. So as for my predictions on this piece, I believe Arizona State will finish the season with a 10-2 record, 7-2 in conference play, much like last season, and that should be enough to get them into the title game. We'll see what happens if this scenario comes to fruition. come late November. But we'll see. It could truly, if you ask me at this point, I would not be surprised if they went through the regular season undefeated. There are some tough games, but this is a team that can beat absolutely anybody in the country. They proved it on New Year's Day against Texas with an incredibly masterful performance. And just around 3 months away from the kickoff of Sun Devil football. Couldn't be more excited to cover the team this year. Thank you so much for tuning into today's podcast. Once again, my name is Kevin Hicks. Follow me on X at khicks_21. I will be posting exclusive video content, potential interviews, game footage, and all my work on that account. And thank you so much for the support. Thank you so much for the consistency from you guys. And I'll catch you again next time.